Right now, open source code is running your phone, your laptop, probably the servers managing your bank account. It's the literal backbone of the entire internet. But here's the terrifying part. Millions of lines of that code have known security vulnerabilities. Actual holes that hackers could exploit tomorrow. And nobody's fixing them. Why? Because open source projects are usually maintained by tiny teams, sometimes just one person, working for free in their spare time. They're completely overwhelmed. They can't keep up with security patches. They can't even properly track all the vulnerabilities people have reported to them. So those bugs just sit there, getting older, getting more dangerous by the day. A typical open source library might have 50, 100, even 300 unpatched security issues. And here's the brutal truth. The biggest technology companies in the world, Google, Microsoft, Amazon, Meta, they're all built on top of this vulnerable code. But the humans maintaining these projects, they're burning out, exhausted, unable to cope. Today, OpenAI just launched a brand new initiative specifically designed to find these hidden vulnerabilities and help developers patch them before attackers can exploit them. And this move reveals something fascinating about where the industry's heading. To understand why this matters, you need to know how open source actually works. It's not like you might think. Most people assume that because software is free, there's a team getting paid to maintain it. There isn't. Open source projects, the libraries that big companies depend on, are usually run by passionate developers who maintain them in their spare time. For free, completely unpaid. They do it because they love the craft, because they want to give back, because it scratches an itch they had. The problem is that maintaining security in open source is absolutely brutal. Every single day, researchers around the world find new vulnerabilities in published code. Thousands of them. These researchers report the bugs responsibly to the project maintainers. But then what? The maintainer has to understand the vulnerability, figure out how to fix it, write the patch, test it, release it, and then hope people actually update to the new version. That takes time, weeks, months, sometimes years, and while all that's happening, the vulnerability is sitting there publicly disclosed. Anyone can read about it, anyone can exploit it. So there's this growing, festering backlog of known but unfixed security issues in open source. GitHub alone hosts millions of repositories with unpatched bugs. That's the crisis that OpenAI decided to tackle. So what exactly is OpenAI doing? They've launched what they're calling a vulnerability discovery and repair program. Here's the practical side. OpenAI is using their latest AI models, the ones capable of reasoning through complex problems, to automatically scan open source code repositories looking for security issues. The AI literally reads the code like a human security expert would, understands what it's supposed to do, then hunts for logical flaws. Missing validation checks, improper error handling, all the gaps where attackers slip through. But here's where it gets brilliant. OpenAI doesn't just flag the vulnerabilities and disappear. They actually help fix them. When their AI finds a bug, they'll draft a patch. They'll explain the vulnerability clearly. They'll even submit pull requests directly to the project maintainers with the fix ready to go. Think of it like having a world-class security engineer whose entire job is going around the open source world doing pro bono security work. And it's completely free for developers. OpenAI pays for all the computing power, all the engineering time, everything. According to their announcement, they've already scanned thousands of repositories and found hundreds of brand new vulnerabilities, security issues that nobody else had discovered yet. Issues developers had no idea existed, and they are actively working with maintainers to get those patches merged and shipped to users. This isn't just a scanning tool. It's a complete end-to-end security service for the open source ecosystem. Let's look at what this actually means in concrete terms. Imagine you're the person maintaining a popular open source logging library that 40,000 other projects depend on. You've got a day job. You've got a family. You maintain this library in evenings and weekends. Then one day an email arrives. It's OpenAI's system saying, hey, we found 3 new security vulnerabilities in your code. Here's a detailed explanation of what each one is. Here's how each could be exploited. And here, pull request attached, is the fix for each issue. You review it. It looks solid. You merge it. You push a new version. 40,000 projects can update, and suddenly 40,000 projects are more secure. Or consider this scenario. A developer at a startup writes some authentication code, the kind of code that's really easy to get wrong. Maybe they haven't properly sanitized user inputs. Maybe they are logging sensitive data. Maybe they've got a timing vulnerability that reveals secrets. OpenAI's system finds it, reports it, and because it found it, before a hacker could sell that vulnerability on the dark web or use it maliciously, the developer gets to fix it quietly. That's the real-world impact of this program. It's finding bugs that hackers haven't discovered yet. Now, OpenAI isn't the first company to take security in open source seriously. Microsoft has been running their own vulnerability disclosure program. Google has Code QL and various security research initiatives. Facebook Meta contributes security audits to projects they depend on. Apple does the same thing, but OpenAI's approach is different in a couple of key ways. First, it's purely focused on finding and fixing, not just scanning and reporting. Second, it's using AI to do the heavy lifting at scale. An AI model can scan thousands of repositories in the time it would take a human security expert to carefully audit one. That's not to say human expertise isn't involved. It absolutely is, but the AI multiplies the impact dramatically. And third, OpenAI is framing this as a public service, not a marketing initiative or a way to build goodwill with projects that use their APIs. They're not requiring projects to use OpenAI's code or their technology in return. They're not even asking for credit. It's just here, let's help secure the software that the entire world depends on. That's actually pretty rare in tech. Most initiatives like this have strings attached. This one doesn't appear to, and that's changing the conversation about who bears responsibility for open source security moving forward. So what does this mean for the bigger picture? Well, on one level, it's a straight-up security win. Hundreds of new vulnerabilities fixed, thousands of projects made stronger, fewer exploitable holes for attackers to slip through. That matters. Cyber attacks cost the global economy around $5 trillion a year. If this program prevents even a fraction of 1% of those attacks, it's saved money that goes to hospitals, businesses, individuals, everyone. On another level, this is OpenAI saying publicly, we think AI has a responsibility to strengthen the digital infrastructure everyone depends on, not just make it cooler or faster, but actually make it safer. That's a bit of a philosophical change for the whole industry, and it puts pressure on other AI companies, Google, Anthropic, Meta, to do the same. Because if OpenAI is using AI to secure the entire open source ecosystem for free, what excuse do other companies have for not doing something similar? There's also a message here for open source maintainers. You're not alone anymore. The tools exist to help you. You don't have to be a security expert to run a secure project. AI can help, and that might convince some people to actually maintain their projects longer or contribute to new ones, knowing they've got these tools in their corner. Now, if you're a developer or you maintain an open source project, you might be wondering, how do I actually use this? How do I get OpenAI's security scanning for my code? Right now, the program is available to any open source project on GitHub. You don't have to apply or fill out forms. OpenAI's tools can automatically find your project, analyze it, and start submitting pull requests with security fixes. That said, the responsible approach is to actively monitor for those pull requests when they come in. You want to review them. You want to understand what vulnerability they are fixing and why. You don't want to blindly merge code from any system, even a well-intentioned AI. If you're using open source libraries in your own code, which almost every company and developer does, you should absolutely make sure you're on the latest versions of those libraries. Because if maintainers are getting these security fixes from OpenAI, you need to be pulling those updates in. Set up dependency scanning. Use tools like Dependabot. Know when your libraries have updates available. And if you found a security vulnerability in an open source project yourself, you should report it responsibly to the maintainer, not publicly, so they have time to fix it before the world knows about it. That's the practice that makes this whole ecosystem stronger. So here's what I think this really means for you. The infrastructure that powers your digital life is getting systematically more secure. That's a good thing, but it's also a signal that AI companies are starting to think about how their technology should serve the public good, not just shareholders. OpenAI could have used their advanced AI models to build the next shiny product. Instead, they chose to use them to patch holes in code that billions of people depend on. No direct revenue, no headlines screaming about flashy new features, just let's make the internet more secure. And that matters. The ripple effects are going to be huge. More secure open source means more secure applications built on top of it. That means your apps, your services, your digital spaces are harder to hack. And for project maintainers, it means you've got an actual ally in the security battle instead of feeling like you're fighting alone. The takeaway: keep your software updated, support the open source projects you depend on, and watch to see if other AI companies follow OpenAI's lead on this, because that'll tell you a lot about where the entire industry's heading next. Follow for more AI news that actually matters.